Hello everyone! I think we finally did it. After hundreds of hours, dozens of ship builds, I put all that knowledge into this one single build, and I think we may have achieved perfection. Stay with me, let me explain. I pay attention to everything, every detail, inside, outside, all the numbers, the stats. So we're gonna go over the ship, do an overview first, all the numbers. I'll show you guys later the interior, and then I'm gonna break it apart, show you guys all the parts, so you guys can build your own, maybe improve upon it, maybe make it even better. So let's get started. Okay, let's begin with the numbers. So we have the weapons, we talk about that later, but let's take a look at the numbers. The hull 1628, I think that's pretty high. Shield 1600, cargo of even 6000, max crew 10, 30 jump range, 100 mobility, 130 top speed, and the mass 4242. Oh my god. Look at those numbers. Can we make it even more even? The only thing, if I can somehow get another 2 hull somewhere and make it 1630, that would be fantastic. But these numbers, oh my god. The weapons, I use some of the best weapons. They're not the top, and mostly because of the color scheme. I wanted to make sure that it matches. So I put a ton of weapons. We have the NKE auto gas gun or Gauss gun or Gauss gun. I have 3 of those. Then I have 4 of these ones, the PBO 300 auto alpha beams. That's a Class C 3300 range. I have 4 of those, I believe. I got 2 at the top. I got another one here, another one on the other side. So I have a couple of weapons that are hidden underneath. And then I also have the PB 175 Helion beam. This is a B class, but still a ton of range, 3300. No missile launchers. I've been using this setup of weapons for quite a while. And honestly, yeah, they destroy pretty much everything. Most of the time, I don't even use the NK9 Gauss gun. Just the alpha beams destroys everything. And you do it from a distance because they have the range. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what's the best layout for these engines. These are the best engines in the game. I want to use them, but it's always been very difficult to organize them because there's 6 of them. Where do you put them? So I tried different. I tried like having 3 on a row. It was a little bit too much, too wide. It didn't quite fit the design. I tried diamond shape. It didn't work because the ship would end up too tall. And I wanted to have these landing gears here. Mostly because these landing gears provide an additional exhaust effect. And I always like that. So that's why I wanted to use them and I didn't want to remove them. At the end of the day, I think this is probably the best layout. So 4 engines at the back and the other 2 at the front. I know that in real life, it probably doesn't make sense to have engines at the front exhausting to your back engines, but it's a game, so it doesn't really matter. And it doesn't look that bad. When you're in space and when you're flying, actually doesn't look bad at all. It actually kind of looks like it makes sense, mostly because the jet doesn't hit too far back. So it looks actually pretty decent. The other things that I also wanted to make sure that I have in this build are these structural parts here, like the braking engines from Deimos, braking engines from Nova, and there is another braking engine here from Tayo. And I wanted to use all these ones because when you're in space and you hit the space bar, you kind of get that cool effect. This is why I use those. I really like that effect. Okay, so that's just a quick overview. Let's go to the interior. Let me show you everything that I've done. If you follow me in my previous videos, you know that windows is a very big design factor in my ships. I just enjoy having all the windows. So let's take a look. Alright, so as we come up from the landing bay, I minimized the ladders as much as I could, as well as I make sure that each ladder would just go to one floor instead of going to multiple floors. So it's coming, I have here, that leads, the orange door, that leads to the cockpit and other hubs. We're gonna go to the back. I have this Hab Spine, this corridor. I really like using this one. It makes it more like a spaceship having it. So this is why I always make sure I have one of these. And as we open, we have a ton of windows on the floor so that when you're in space, you can see the planets and all that stuff. I just feel like that's cool. This hab here is a large hab, a 3x2 mess hall from Nova Galactic. And I have a ton of windows. So I have this one on this side that can look out straight to the back. And straight down the corridor, I have the docking station just by itself and with another window unobstructed so that you can see, whatever you want to see. And on the other side, as we come in, I have this living quarters. It's a 2x2 living quarters from Nova as well because I wanted the interior to match with the other side with a pool table. It's one of the few that has a pool table, so I really want to use this one. And it is here, another window on this side at the back as well. And this is another one of my favorite living quarters. All right, now let's go to the top, to the second floor. On the second floor, immediately coming up, I have this, I believe it's an all-in-one berth from Tayo. And the only reason I use it is because it has a lot of space. It doesn't have a lot of furniture. I wanted to be able to jump out and just be able to move around pretty easily. And of course, I have more windows. These are side windows. And as we come up to this side, this is another one of my favorite living quarters. This is a 2x2 from Stroud. I like it, how clean it is, very modern, very beautiful, so I have it. And I have a couple of windows as well here. And I have another window here at the back. So yeah, ton of windows. And on the other side, I just have a 2x1, a regular hab. It's just an all-in-one berth. So same windows. And now let's go to the top. I think this is the final floor. On this ladder at the very top, I put a window so that when you go up, you can always see either the sky or space. And okay, so once you come up here, this is another Tayo companionway. And I used it also because it has almost nothing on the sides. No obstruction, so it's pretty easy to just walk around. Now on one side, I have this Deimos research station. On the other side, very important, this is a workshop for all your crafting needs. And here I have another corridor that leads to a captain's quarters. And this is a Tayo captain's quarters 2x1. And I put a lot of windows, 4 windows on each side. This is the top level, so I wanted to make it feel like a true captain's quarters so you can see everything. I tried putting a window here as well, the round one. And yes, the interior looks really nice. Be able to see out with all 5 windows, but I just couldn't make the outside design work. The outside design just didn't look as good when I removed the weapons and the weapon mount. So too bad. So I decided to just be okay with the 4 windows. Let's go now to the cockpit. So the other side of the cockpit, as you go in, what I have is a battle station. I think it kind of fits. Having the battle station leading to the cockpit kind of makes sense. This is the 2x2 battle station from Stroud, my favorite. So it is here. And on the other side, just for space, I have to put a 2x1. I believe this is a control station. That's the battle station and this is the control station. Also to increase the crew amount the ship can hold. So this is also Stroud just so that the interior design can match. And of course another window down here. And here we have it now, the cockpit. This is the Nova Galactic. I forgot the name of the cockpit, but it's pretty popular. I think a lot of people look at what is Vasco doing here. Man, Vasco just being Vasco. Okay. I like the design of this cockpit quite a lot. I just wish it were a little less claustrophobic. Like for example, if they could lower this instead of making it higher than they did now, and maybe even have some sort of a small computer core or control station underneath with a floor window. I mean, that would be really fantastic. But I think it's still a good cockpit, so I am using it. The view is just phenomenal. And at the back, it's just one hub. This is a 2x1 Nova, only one berth, and I think it fits. First, the interior kind of fits, and then this has a navigation console, some tables, and it also has an additional research station here. Of course, I have another window on the ceiling just with a view of the guns, and I put another one here at the top, and yeah, so that is the interior. And now let's jump right into building. Okay, so I split the ship into a couple of different layers and different parts, and I'm going to put a shopping list for some of the unique parts where you have to specifically go to certain locations to get. I'll either put that on the screen so you guys can pause and go get those. My suggestion is just go get those parts, just put them all together into a ship, Frankenstein style, and then go to your own landing port at your outpost and do the shipbuilding there. And in case you're wondering, the original ship was the Frontier. It is a ship that I cannot do anything about, like I cannot sell or anything. So I thought, let's make it the perfect ship. Okay, so let's start with the bottom floor, the bottom two floors actually. And at the front, we have the 2x2 Stroud battle station with a 2x1. So this one is a unique part. I'm gonna put that on the list. After that, we have a companionway. This is just to force the ladder to be here. We have the Deimos landing gear, one on each side, mostly for looks. Not the best landing gear, but definitely just for looks. And here we have the Hopetown Hab Spine. This is the corridor. And this is another unique part that you have to get it in Hopetown. And next to that, we have two helium tanks, the 600T helium tanks. And behind that, this is the 2x3 Nova Galactic Mess Hall. And this is the 2x2 Nova Galactic Living Quarters. This is the one with the pool table, and I believe the pool table is in this location. If you follow this design, it will be fine. If you end up not putting a helium tank here and put a window here, it will get rid of the pool table. Just be aware of that. So at the back, we have another companionway. This is the one that the docker below attaches to. So there's a docker that gets attached to that. Over here, we have two galleon cargo holds. These are the S203. We have one on each side. And then behind that, we have the Deimos belly, just a structural part for looks. Now, next to the docker, we have the landing gears. These are the Tayo Pinpoint 3G landing gears. This is one of the variations or one of the variants. So just change it to this variant. And then this is just a Hopetech Nose B. I usually don't like the look of the Habs just like that. So this is just for looks, and we have windows on each side of the Habs. Now once we go below, we have, this is a Hope 5 landing gear. I like the look quite a lot. Matches very well with the Cabot Bridge, which is why I use those. And then we have a Hope landing bay. I have a bottom window here on the battle station. Then inside each of these helium tanks, I have two shielded cargo holds. These are the Caravel V101, so they are attached on the inside of each of these helium tanks. Then behind we have the NG20 landing gear from Nova Galactic. This is another unique part and I just have 2 of those. And then below we also have the Helion S204 cargo holds, 2, 1 on each side. And oh, so there is another NG20 landing gear, so it's total of 4, my bad, not just 2. And this is a Stroud Cooling 1LAPB. It's just a structure, it's just for looks, just there. And more windows here at the bottom. So now we also have this Nova weapon mount where I have 3 weapons mounted, the PB175, 1 on each inside and the outside, and then the PBO300, and this one attaches to this structure part here. Same thing on the other side, the same weapon mount, same weapons attaches there. So now we're gonna move to the wing that attaches to the side of it. So we have the Stroud Cap A, 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom. There is the Stroud Cooling. These are both the same, just different variants of each other. So if I change it, it's the same. So it's just 2 different variants. Below that, I have a Stroud engine mount. This is flipped upside down. Connects there. Behind that, I have another Deimos belly, and at the top, a Deimos tail. And same thing on the other side, of course. And this just goes here. So yeah. So the 2 bellies should align, and there it is. So this one also comes back, and now everything is aligned for the bottom 2 floors. So let's move now to the next floor. Okay, so I'm gonna move this a little bit away so you guys can see better. I'm gonna move this out. Okay, so we have the Cabot, the Nova Bridge, and I went with the one that has 300 cargo hold. So just to get this even 6,000 cargo. Behind that, we have a 2x1, just a 2x1 hab from Nova Galactic. Behind that, I have the Tayo Living Quarters. Too bad there is no door between these 2 hubs. That's another thing that bothers me a lot about this game, that we cannot choose where to put a door. But anyways, behind that, we have the Stroud Living Quarters 2x2, and I have another Stroud only 1 berth 2x1 on the other side. Then on each side we have a M10 Ulysses helium tank. These are the small ones, just 50 and 50. And the reason is because these 2 added together don't quite reach 600. So I wanted to add something to be able to hit 600, because 600 will allow you to jump from one end of the map to the other. Behind that, we have a Stroud engine bracer. There is behind that a Nova braking engine, and a couple of portholes whenever possible. And then the engine is pretty simple. It's just a Tayo mid cap, the same one at the top, flip at the bottom, and then the Tayo braking engine. And then behind that we have the SAL-6830 engine. So all of that is there. So the top sits flush. It will overhang for the second, for the second level, and then the cockpit. So the top should be all flush, and this can now go back here. So it should just perfectly overhang on top. And let's drag the 2 helium tanks on top, and there we go. So now we can go to the final layer. We have another Nova weapon mount with the 2 Gauss guns and the PBO300s. Then here is the Tayo Captain's Quarters, and this is the top B. I know the Tayo hubs, they split between top, mid, and bottom. So this is the top B. And we have 2 portholes on each side. We have a Deimos Spine structure, another Deimos Spine B structure for the gun to be mounted. I also have this Deimos Spine C at the back. On top of the Hab Spine, this is another corridor. And on top of that, I have a scan jammer for the shielded cargo. I find this kind of unnecessary now. I might replace it for something else, but anyway. Behind that, we have a tile companionway. This is another top. This is the top B. This is a 1x1. And I have the porthole at the very top for that ladder to kind of see the sky type of thing. Behind that, we have the Grav Drive. This is the J52 Gamma. And behind that, we have the Pinch 8Z reactor. On top of the Grav Drive is the shield. This is the Assurance SG1800. So, okay, on the left side, we have a 2x1 Deimos Hab with the Deimos braking engine in front and another Deimos Spine, and this is a Deimos radiator. These are all structural, and this engine is the same as the previous level. So the tire braking engine, mid cap, top and bottom, and then we have the SAL engines behind. And the other side is absolutely the same way. So let me see, am I forgetting anything? No, I am not forgetting anything. And that is it. So let me put this now in here as well. So everything should sit flush behind and here. So there you have it. Two things that kind of bother me a little bit about this ship. One is this gun at the very top. It just seems like it shouldn't be the highest point. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna remove this one. We're gonna put this back, and instead I'm going to bring in one of these equipment plates. We're gonna put it here. We're gonna do the different color. I think we're gonna do orange on the side, and the rest we wanted the same color. And then now mount the weapon here. I think this looks better. So that's one thing that I wanted to change. Mass number is no longer a nice even 4242, but that's okay. The other thing that kind of bothers me a lot is this, the wing. You know, it's just edge, very square here. I don't quite like it. And because I'm out of parts, like I cannot put any more parts, I need to change something. So I thought about removing this thing, because this is just structure, right? So we remove it, but depending on the angle, you can see the space. And so I think what I'm gonna do is bring this cargo hold and put it inside so that, you know, it doesn't look empty anymore. I'm gonna switch this here. Gonna do a switch because I can mount something here, and then I'm gonna duplicate one of these and put it here. And this, I think, it just looks so much better, that the wing kind of goes nicely and it's not such a you know, it just, without it just doesn't look good. This I think makes it look much better. So, and with that we can do the same. I know that the only thing that we miss is like there is this effect on the line that we no longer have because we're putting something different, but I think it's okay. I just wish maybe we can have a few more parts. I think that would be very, very helpful. Hopefully in a future update we can just have a few more, just a handful more parts. So I think now this looks much better. So the mass comes down, which is good. It's just not a nice even number as I kind of was hoping, but that's okay. And for the bottom, I think it's okay. We don't really need, I mean, this space, the space there can remain empty, you know. It doesn't affect anything. It looks actually just fine without it. I mean, we could move the landing gear to the back if we really want to. You know, that also works, but I don't know, I feel like there are too many legs at the back, so probably just keep it there, and that's okay. So I think now probably looks better, right? So like the highest point is this antenna. It kind of makes a little more sense. Like I was saying before when I was showing you guys the interior, I did put a window here and remove this weapon mount, and instead I used one of these at the front to mount the weapons, and it just didn't look good. It just didn't look good. So yeah, if anyone else finds a better way to put a window here and still make the outside design look nice, let me know. So alright, this is the build. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah or nay? Is it close to perfect? So okay, that is it for the build. Let me know what you guys think. Other than that, thank you all for watching. I hope this was helpful. Enjoy the game, have fun. I'll see you all in the next video.